Welcome to Super Serious Film Fest, our theme series of movie reviews.
This season covers the best and the worst of Nick Cage.
The summer and winter of his career.
In what we're calling Season of the Cage. So we have seen Season of the Witch.
Yes.
Both of us. Now, I've seen it twice, at least. Twice that I remember. And last week, I hear you've seen it 3 times. After so many viewings of this Nicolas Cage movie, what did you think of it?
This is just, I'm glad we actually put this on the list because I think this is the worst Cage. This is a Cage just cashing the check. He doesn't even bother to bring an F0 on the Cage scale. I mean, say what you will about Con Air and Vampire's Kiss, you get cagey. He gets cagey in that, and here it's just a movie that no one seems to be enthusiastic about. It is spent a lot of money, but manages to look ugly. It's plotting. It's boring. And at no point do you actually feel like you care about anything that's going on. Like even a diehard sword and sandal historical fiction Knights on the Crusade. I can't imagine anyone wanting this film. Like if you're a horror fan, if you're an adventure fan, if you're a thriller fan, like this is the equivalent of room temperature saliva, and no one wants to take a drink of it. What do you think, Jim?
No, I agree on every account. Basically, I said in the Con Air review that this is his least Cage performance. I was wrong, because I didn't remember seeing this, and this is the least Cage you can possibly get in a movie while still calling it a Nicolas Cage movie. I think for an hour and 34-minute film, it somehow still manages to be bad.
When I was queuing it up last night to watch it, I'm like, hour 30, the fuck? I would have swore this is 2 hours, 15 minutes, 2 hours, 20.
Yeah. No, because every place that they've taken a shortcut, I feel, and it just amounts to nothing. This movie commits the ultimate sin, which is just being completely forgettable.
Yeah.
Ron Perlman, who I normally like in stuff, he can't save it. Nicolas Cage doesn't bring anything to it, so he doesn't save it. And the effects, like you said, are somehow expensive looking and yet really bad looking in places.
Yeah.
It's just not worth watching.
I don't get it. It's directed by Dominic Sena, and it's kind of getting the gang back together because he directed Nick Cage and Gone in 60 Seconds, which is a schlocky film, but one that I remember everyone seemed like they had a lot of fun doing.
Mm-hmm. And it was written by the same guy who wrote Con Air.
And so I was wondering, like, what the hell happened? Because, I remember when this movie came out, we were kind of like, high on the kick because we were all in the Badass Fest and we've done all this like, stupid action adventure movie. And I think we both had kind of fond feelings for the National Treasure movies and like, oh, it's Nick Cage. And I just remember how terrible it looked. And the movie trailer guy, it's Season of the Witch, and we like said that to each other all the fucking time. It became kind of a catchphrase.
Yeah.
And I can't believe it's this bad. Or you said the word mediocre, and I kind of fought you about it a little bit while we were doing the live watch, because to me, mediocre is kind of like a non-offensive thing, and this film is kind of offensiveness and offensive in its blandness. Like it just you kind of get angry because it just wasted your time.
Some people might.
There's I'm serious. Like, I don't think there's this movie made. Might. I don't think anyone made this. I don't think anyone came out of this movie getting what they thought they were going to get. Like, I just can't imagine. Like, if you're a genre person, it's dumb. If you are a fan of great acting or dialogue, it's honestly terrible. And I don't understand why this guy, who made a perfectly fine movie, maybe it's a historical thing through him. He's also like, he did California with a K, 1993. That's the Brad Pitt, Juliette Lewis. There he did Swordfish in 2001.
Oh, Christ.
That's a terrible movie, but it's an entertaining movie. Whiteout, which I don't even know what the hell that is, and then Season of the Witch, along with Gone in 60 Seconds, and like it's his last film. He hasn't made another one. I think it killed his career. because it really sucked a lot of cinematic dick. So, and that's what it's like, sucking human dick's one thing, but the worst thing you can do in the cinema world is suck cinematic dick.
Can I say one good thing about the movie that's non-spoilery?
Yes.
I think the makeup effects are good.
The makeup effects.
The practical, like we put prosthetics and makeup on this character and he looks really fucked up or she looks really fucked up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see where you're going with that.
Other than that, I think the effects are largely a failure.
You would think that like Ron Perlman and Nick Cage would have, because it seemed like in the interviews I read, they had fun making this movie, but none of that came across on the screen.
No.
There is no chemistry, no sparkle. These guys are supposed to be lifelong friends that have been hip deep in blood and pussy, and
beer.
And they feel like they've got the chemistry of a Attack of the Clones era Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the most damning things I can possibly say. So if you don't know, Season of the Witch is about two knights of the Crusade, Bayman and Felson, played by Nicolas Cage and Ron Perlman, respectively. And they desert from the Lord's army after having been misled into slaughtering women and children in a vicious campaign in Smyrna. They've been gone crusading for almost a decade now, and they return to a countryside that's been ravaged by the Black Plague. They're arrested as deserters at the first large city they come to, but the church offers them a deal. In return for their freedom, they must escort a young accused witch, played by Claire Foy, who may be causing the spread of the disease, to a monastery that specializes in witch handling for trial and execution. In the long and perilous journey ahead, Bayman will wrestle with his faith, sense of justice, and dark supernatural powers. I mentioned Claire Foy being in playing the witch and how kind of hot she is right now because she's in The Girl in the Spider's Web right now. She's doing an Oscar bid as Neil Armstrong's wife in First Man. This was her first role in cinema. And she's she's Claire Foy, and
she's easily the best actor in this film.
Yes, she is playing a fairly thankless role because this character, what you're supposed to think about her, the politics of witchery in the 14th century is all over the fucking map. I think we should get spoilery about this thing now. One topic I want to talk about is I feel like in the first of this movie, they actually sweated some historical details. Like they did research on actual Crusader campaigns, and they did research into like I don't know if you know this, but like Nick Cage and Ron Perlman are supposed to be Teutonic Knights, and the only reason I know that is because it happens to be of interest in this Volume 2 religious book I'm doing on Game of Thrones. So I was a little bit familiar with their iconography and whatnot. And they get the names of towns and things right, but boy, that stuff just goes skin deep. I kind of feel like they got me with these battle sequences and these cities and these years and telling the tale of this campaign. They got me into something that's going to have more than just a passing nod to like historical realism, like a historical realistic take that just happens to have witches in it, kind of like a 13th Warrior. Have you seen that film?
Yeah,
like that's something I was kind of going for, but then. Like the next scene, they strap on these helmets that I swear to Christ look exactly like a 1980s Lego Man set. And it's like this weird thing where with historical art, like with armor, you can go very gritty and realistic. Like, yeah, that looks like something a 14th century knight would strap on. Or you can go like full on Excalibur where it's like fantastical and it's like super cool. This happened to look like there's no way I believe any knight ever wore armor to look anything like this, but also not cool. Like this would be bad cosplay if you saw it at like Gen Con. You'd be like, man, these guys really half-assed their knight costumes.
No, I mean the reveal of Nicolas Cage in this movie is pretty glorious because we'll talk about the hair in a second. We always got to talk about his hair, but that helmet is like halfway on lopsided and it looks like it's too big for him. He looks like a kid who's cosplaying in his dad's armor and really just, wanted to get in on this film.
Right.
And then he takes the helmet off or he starts with the helmet off. I can't remember, but
right.
his fucking hair in this movie is like, it's like 90s Justin Timberlake didn't get a haircut for a year, right? Or it's like somebody like half dyed a dirty mop blonde and tossed it on his head.
It's not natural.
No, it's awful looking. And the lopsided, oversized helmet doesn't do him any favors either.
Ron Perlman's hair helmet looks like someone took a turban and chromed it. Like it's the worst thing I've ever seen. It's so comically bad. And there's also the other thing I noticed on the second watch through is that first scene that they show in the village. It takes place 100 years before the main plot. Why? What the fuck are they trying to say?
Yeah, that's a good question.
That the devil's been trying to engineer the Black Plague and failing
for 100 years
because of this Key of Solomon? Because they introduced that it's a Key of Solomon, but like the Key of Solomon didn't fucking win the priest the day. The priest got destroyed by the forces of evil. So the demon right then and there had the Book of Solomon. I don't know. And it's like,
I think this is the culmination of that 100-year battle that you're talking about.
So he's been going village to village and burning all the books of Solomon until there's only one left. Mm-hmm. So I have another question. Why the fuck does he need to be carted to the last monastery where this copy is held? Like, why can't he just fly there?
No, man,
Why would he possess a little girl, allow himself to be captured, and then be his ass carted? And at the end of the movie, the reveal is, Nick Cage reflects and he's like, every time that she could have escaped or gotten away, the demon is like engineered a situation and bring her back into her clutches. Like, but the demon can fly and has mobility, and there's no one that could stop him. Like, he could literally just flown to this fucking castle and this monastery, burned it, and then the world falls to darkness.
Yeah. No, this is what I hate about these kinds of movies, and it's almost even worse than like fantasy films where there are no rules. Is demonic films, like evil films where there are no rules? Because why does chopping the head of one of these priests that attacks them off stop it?
Right.
Why can't the demon just reanimate them without a head?
Yeah.
What is a crossbow bolt going to do to a demon? Why does it need wolves to come and attack the person who's threatening to kill it?
Yeah. How is that part of its scheme to get back in the clutches of
When you're reading these passages, why doesn't it just fly away?
Yeah.
Before you can read the whole... And why do the passages have to be so fucking long? Why can't it just be like, go away, demon, amen?
Also,
boom, possession over.
Well, I mean, that's like, maybe there is some incantation or whatever.
No, it's exactly as long as they want the dramatic attention, the dramatic...
And it's worse than that. Like, Bayman...
Attention to last.
Bayman's got his daggers in the demon's titties, pinning it to the wall, but we just watched it melt through a solid steel cage. Like, where is that power? I saw him microwave Felsen.
Yeah, and there are no rules. There's just it's the rule of cool, and they don't even nail that.
No. None of these action sequences are fun. None of the I think that I would be down to watch Nick Cage and Ron Perlman, Rough and Ready Crusaders, for hire or whatever. But the B cast is such a collection of sorry individuals. It's they got I feel like they wasted a lot of talent, just incidentals. Like they had Rory McCann, who we know as the Hound. Why the fuck isn't he the other knight that accompanies him instead of this? Because I like this Ehrlich Thompson, and you've never seen him, but he plays like the big bad in Banshee. He can be an interesting magnetic screen presence, but he is just drained of all of his color and of his life. Just like, honestly, it's like everyone in this.
Yeah.
It's like, an action figure version of Nick Cage has been left out in the sun for a year. You pick it up and it's just bleached white, and there's nothing interesting about it. It's kind of like all of the hard edges have been rubbed off of these guys, and they tell these colorful stories like. So many times, like Ron Perlman, oh man, the dialogue is so fucking stilted. Ron Perlman delivers these lines. We've come a long way, Bayman, across deserts, oceans, seen things few men have seen, and fewer still will believe. And he has this other thing about like wanting to return to the lands of his ancestors and drink beer essentially with Bayman. But like, why couldn't I see any of that? I saw like 3 minutes worth of battle pastiche, which are some of the worst choreographed things I've ever seen. Did you ever see Nick Cage actually make connection with a combatant?
I don't know, because I couldn't see anything. They were doing their damnedest to hide anything that would be hard to film and hard to make look realistic with fucking fog and smoke and dust and sun and darkness. anything they could think of to hide any effect they were trying to do.
You see Nick Cage like swing a sword back, and then they cut 180 degrees from him, so it's probably stuntman's back. And he just like, and you see this other stuntman just running with his sword over his eye, and he just runs into the blade. Like there's no like no one that attacks Bayman or Felson in this whole fucking movie. If they had just stood there and done nothing, would they have made a connection to them? There's none of this. Like I remember like reading an interview with the choreographer, like Ray Park and the choreographer of episode 1, and they're like, every one of these strokes would be a kill stroke if it connect. Every one of these strokes would be a pillow fight if it connected at best. It's just really lazy and stagey, and that's bad when this is a fucking action film.
And here's the thing. I think the beginning of this movie almost needs to be a movie in and of itself for me to care about the resolution of the film that they did make. Because there's a really interesting movie in there where a couple of knights, crusading knights, get disillusioned with the whole fucking mission, and they go off and they renounce the faith, right?
They don't even know what good and evil is.
But you need like 2 hours to tell that story, and they shortcut it here to about 2.5 minutes.
I think the right script and the right characters could make you believe in that in 10, 15, but holy shit. And the thing is, this movie was not pressed for time. It could have it could have given some time to breathe.
Yeah.
It's just like no one cared to do it. It's just like an utter lack of care and passion went into making this film. And there's this other like, so when the choreography isn't dispirited, it's ludicrous. Like there's this scene where Bayman and Felson is being captured in the city, and Nick Cage parries a half dozen crossbow bolts with a dagger.
Right. I forgot about that.
And he doesn't. Fuck. There's nothing like. He literally just moves the dagger. He holds the dagger at a 45-degree angle in front of his face, then moves it to the other side of 45 and just does that back and forth. He does it like a half dozen times, and then he goes, enough, because like
everybody stopped shooting.
Yeah, like that's all I got in me.
Yeah.
It's like it's just so crazy. And then the other half the time he's wrestling with CGI shit that doesn't really work. It's like I said, the action needed to be a hell of a lot more gonzo to actually be compelling, and a hell of a lot more of it. Yeah. How many scenes?
Well, it's interesting because I think they both did. They did the wrong kind of action, but they did enough of it, just not good enough. Like, there's the scenes with the wolves where they come and they kill Hagamar, right?
Yeah.
I don't really understand why you're gonna do that. Like, it all comes back to the demon being a problem, right? Because the demon could just at any time break out of this cage and go destroy the Book of Solomon.
Right.
Game over. And so the wolves seem almost superfluous to the whole thing.
Because, again, the demon could literally at any time break out. It could just go into Hulk mode and melt its way through the thing and fly its happy ass to... Did it not know where the monastery was?
No, it had to know.
Because the other thing is the wolf attack happens within sight of the fucking place, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, they run away from the wolf attack, and they somehow end up in sight of the castle.
So it could have been like, see ya, suckers, and had an unfettered... I wonder if it's... The only thing I can think of is it's afraid of the monks. Like, they do have that one last copy. And although, like you said, like it seems like it could slaughter an unlimited amount of anything. And it could have slaughtered Nick Cage. It just chose not to.
Yeah. And the other thing that they do with action that goes nowhere, which I was like, oh, this might actually be kind of cool to see, is this plague dog. They just have a single plague dog that does nothing. It gets hit in the face with a torch, and then it's gone.
Yeah.
Where was the action sequence around that?
Yeah, I was thinking, like, because you're talking about the more compelling version of this, about these knights that have lost their faith, and like maybe the deal is that Bayman gets his faith back by the end, and you got to understand that it's the force of his faith that's beating the demon, not his fucking daggers that can magically. But they don't ever do that.
No, that's why movies like The Exorcist work so well.
Right.
Because it's all about the strength of your faith.
Yeah, and
it has nothing to do with your physical body. You're not pinning demons to walls.
Right.
You're simply believing in God so hard that the demon can't touch you.
And knowing that if that wavers an instant, the demon can absolutely have its way with you, and that's the crux. You have to keep that faith and belief in and knowing that you're on a tightrope, and knowing that this very powerful thing is trying to like exploit any. It's a mental test. It's a test of will and faith, and none of that is in this movie.
No,
and
as
it's
soon as
all
you
about
introduce
religion and faith.
Yeah, as soon as you introduce the swords into it, like the idea of these are knights and we're actually going to see them fight a lot,
Right.
that goes out the window.
Right. Yeah. Especially when they're wrestling with a fucking demon. But also, like the politics of witchcraft in this movie are weird because there's this like, is she or isn't she a witch?
Which is such a joke. Yeah.
They at like 4 or 5 different times she reveals that she has some kind of vast uncanny power.
As soon as they meet her, she jumps on the backs of the people who release her from the dungeon.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a witch.
She's like a 19-year-old Claire Foy who weighs 95 pounds soaking wet, and she's throwing these armored dudes around like they're bales of hay.
And pinning them to the ground.
That she grabs a dude by the arm, and one arm curls him at one point. I mean, just so many obviously feats of uncanny things that she does. It's like, why are we still arguing whether she's a witch or not? Like, you could maybe argue about if she's an evil witch, but then the movie feels so self-satisfied when it twists. It's like, oh, she's not a witch. She's just possessed by a demon. Well, who fucking cares? Like, it did feel like they could have saved a lot of time just by killing her at any point.
Yeah.
And then they make this thing. It's like, and that's the thing is like, why don't they? Because at some point, Cage is like, well, if we do this, the world could fall into darkness. Like, I don't get it. Like, she's either a witch or she's not. If she's not a witch and you kill her, then it's not going to stop the plague, but whatever. Taking her to the fucking castle and giving her a fair witch trial in the 14th century. What
Drown
does
her,
that
see
even
if she
mean?
gets back up.
Yeah, like when he said, I'll see that you get a fair trial. What the fuck does that mean? What does a fair witch trial look like?
Yeah, they describe a witch trial in it, and it's essentially, we're going to drown you. If you die, you weren't a witch. If you don't die, you're a witch, and we'll kill you through incantations.
Yeah. Like there's going to be a series of cross-examining of Satan, and if you can trip him up in his factual statements, then you got him. If you get the father of the lie on the stand and get him on the record, then you got it. It's kind of ludicrous. I thought, like, there's so many more interesting films to be had here. Like, you know, Bayman wrestling with that. Like, I have seen firsthand that this religious order and institution is capable of corruption and cruelty. And I have this innocent girl who I'm delivering, and I'm promising her a fair trial. But what does that mean? Like, what? And they just don't. They just don't.
No, and there are a couple of good ideas in there. I think, you know, this idea of, oh, well, he's misidentified this as a witch when in fact it's a demon. There could have been something interesting to do there, but they play it as just like a shortcut kind of moment to him going, oh yeah, now I get it. I can tell you why all this is happening. It's because Nicolas Cage's character Bayman is the most oblivious character in. There's a scene with Ron Perlman and him where they're on horseback. Nicolas Cage, I think, asks, "Do you think she's a witch?" Ron Perlman responds, you felt her strength, right? Like, she jumped on top of you. She started pinning you to the ground and throwing you around. You felt that, didn't you? And Nicolas Cage says, I've seen women destroy men without lifting a finger. You've just missed the entire fucking point of what he is saying. And also, he never comes back around and says, that's a pretty clever line, Nicolas Cage, but you missed my entire fucking point. You felt the physical strength of this person who should weigh about 95 pounds, right?
Yeah, no, I've had my heart broken too. But I'm talking about the actual feat of strength that she just did. The strength that you felt.
That's why Nicolas Cage is a complete oblivious idiot in the entirety of this movie.
And here's the other thing is, like, there's also this interesting thing where they have this priest who's hilariously named the Ballsack. Like, not really, but pretty much the Ballsack.
They're saying Ballsack all movie.
It's hilarious. Yeah. And there's this thing where she keeps accusing him of abuse. And he keeps on shutting that shit down and, oh, she lies, you can't trust her, she lies. And I thought for sure that they were going to reveal that this priest had been, like, raping this woman and, like, knocked her up and he's actually trying to, like, use this pretext of the plague to call her Black Witch so she can be, you know, killed so he doesn't have to deal with it. But no, Ballsack's just a good guy fighting against the devil. Like, what's with all... What?
I don't know, man.
I mean, I don't know, because I guess that's like an Exorcist thing. Like, that's a go-to play if you've inhabited the body of a little girl, is to make some sexually inappropriate remarks and try to make the priest uncomfortable. And maybe they're going for that, but boy, it didn't play, because the other thing is, all these men of God were essentially bad guys in this movie. And this is the one guy who's not, I guess.
Huh. Yeah.
But I again, I thought that would be a little bit more interesting. There's also just like some crazy things. Like they bring the squire along with him, and he's ambition is to be a knight like his dad, and his dad died, and he's an orphan, and he's been like this altar boy, and he's always trying to prove his worth. First time they give him a sword, he accidentally stabs one of their party members.
Yeah.
And there's a way you could stage this to where it looks like the boy accidentally stabbed the guy, but he's literally holding his sword out, and the guy comes running in slow motion, and he just like sticks him with it.
Yeah.
Like if I come at you, if you're holding a kitchen knife and I surprise you around the corner, don't stab me. Like, don't allow me to impale myself. That's the thing. It's like you can. It's and then
I also don't understand what the purpose of that scene is, because it gets Eckert killed, right?
It gets Eckert killed, right?
But the witch always has an intention with her kills. When it kills a Hagamar, it's to protect herself so that she can continue to get to the castle, to the abbey.
Yeah, I don't get it either, because
it doesn't seem like there's a purpose to this particular kill other than I just want to kill someone.
Yeah.
Actually, the purpose, I think within the movie, the purpose is to show that she can get inside your head, to show that she can use these things that you tell her against you.
But it makes no sense. Why would the demon reveal itself? There's no, like, in fact, the demon manufactured the problem because it allowed the girl to escape, which is the thing it doesn't want.
Yeah.
So how would killing, how would manipulating a guy into killing another one do? I don't know. Again, you want this team to deliver you to the monastery, so. You know, what the fuck? And then this kid gets knighted, and he's the only survivor. It's like,
This is so dumb.
Yeah, he's like, this kid just.
I just don't care about this kid.
Right.
Like, that's the whole problem with this entire subplot of the movie. And what eventually becomes like the big resolution of it is I just don't give a shit about this kid.
No, he's like Michael Cera too. He's like so unbelievable as any kind of man of action.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, he doesn't look like he's going to be an ass kicker. But he's the guy who eventually survives the whole thing and has, I don't know, a nasty love affair with the demon lady who's been cured.
Right.
The girl, as they call her. I just never bought it. And this knighting ceremony, when he goes, I haven't fully earned it. I'm like, yeah, the movie hasn't either, bud. Like, none of us care about you. Yeah. Why should we?
Right. Like, it's kind of comedy. But that's the thing. Like, you are able to laugh at this movie, but it's not, there's no joy in it. Like, it's more just like, I can't believe how stupid this is. Yeah. And not in like a The Room kind of gonzo way or
Vampire's Kiss.
Or Vampire's Kiss way. It's just bad, safe, mediocre decision, and just no enthusiasm. And that I keep on going back to this point about the cast. Like, they had a lot of not only stalwart names like Cage and Perlman, but like up and comers. Like, we didn't know Rory McCann could be the Hound. We didn't know that Stephen Graham could be Scarface, Al Capone. Right? Like, these guys, we didn't know that Ehrlich Thompson could be this terrifying Kai Proctor and Banshee. But they cast these guys nevertheless and got nothing with it. This movie has Christopher fucking Lee.
Right.
And he's buried under prosthetic, which admittedly is why pay for Christopher Lee to get to be on this movie if you're just going to use him for he's essentially an NPC that sends Nick Cage on a escort mission. That's his role. And to me, you leave behind the altar boy, you leave behind the milk toast, the ball sack, you mount up with the Hound, you mount up with fucking Saruman, and you mount up with Al Capone, and you make this like a dirty half dozen movie. And they're dying from attrition because this demon doesn't want to. Like, it's just, everything is structurally a mess. Like, the movie is they want a twist of the, oh my god, we've been helping the villain all along, but it doesn't make any fucking sense. They got this monastery chock full of diseased monks, and they turn into zombies, but that's still not, I'm making it sound twice as cool as you think it is. There's one cool thing in this movie, and that's when the demon grabs Ron Perlman and microwaves him. Like, I got some serious Beastmaster vibes. The flying devours off of that nice. Was really cool and well executed and kind of horrific.
Yeah.
That's it. The demon whoever designed this demon, it's like,
Oh my God.
take the shitty, like not the Mummy, the first one, but like the one of the sequels, like when they started running out of a CGI budget.
Yeah.
Take the Mummy and give it wings. There's your demon.
Unwrap it, give it wings.
Totally,
Demon
totally.
time.
Like it looks like a desiccated corpse. Why does a demon look like a desiccated corpse?
I suppose it wants to, right? I mean, a demon can look like
Guess
whatever
that's
it
true.
wants, so
Yeah.
that's what it chose to look like. The other problem I have with the demon is the voice.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a hoarse Jar Jar Binks. Were you picking up any Jar Jar vibes from this thing?
I actually didn't, but I recognize the voice as being subpar, and he's actually a video game voiceover specialist, and from video games that you've not heard of.
It was god awful.
Yeah, like wow, you can't. You know, you got a voice as cool as Christopher Lee in this film, and this is what you get.
Yeah.
You get like the Ice King from Adventure Time, the voice, your SpongeBob SquarePants to voice this demon. I don't get it. It's so bad, man. It's so bad. What's Nick Cage's obsession with getting his eye cut out? Like he perfected his outcast move here.
Oh,
He gets his eye plucked out, and he just literally just squints it shut.
I
That's
think
his
it's
move.
plucked out. I mean, that is his move. Like, go watch Outcast. He does that through the entirety of his role in that movie.
Actually, maybe not go watch Outcast, because if we ever do a follow-up to Season of the Cage, that's definitely going to be on the short list for the bad movies next time.
The trouble with Outcast is that he's not in the movie all that much. Like, it's mostly a Hayden Christensen kind of thing.
Yeah.
But when he is in it, he's supposed to have lost his eye. And there are moments, I say he squints his eye through the entirety of that movie, but it's simply not true. He opens it several times.
He forgets.
During several battles.
He didn't have time to forget this one.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's so bad. But yeah, in this one, I guess his eye is scratched out.
Yeah,
and
by the
he just
demon.
does the "I'm gonna close my eye" thing.
Right. There's no blood. Like they didn't I didn't sense that there's any kind of like gore. It's almost like he got poked in the eye, and he's just like, oh, it's water. I can't open it because it's watering. They also do this thing where, so they're supposed to be German knights, which I don't understand why they chose the Teutonic Knights versus any other Crusade order, because it doesn't matter. There's no one's attempting to do some kind of German accent, which what even a 13th century German accent would look like.
I would love to hear Nick Cage try it though.
But they're doing this like it's this generic, like an American playing an Imperial in a Star Wars. It's not an English accent, but it's that kind of Shakespeare in the Park cadence to it.
You call this glorious? Murdering women and children? Know your place, knight.
And they don't use contractions.
They don't use contractions. They Yoda speech. Like there's one Ron Perlman where they ride up to this place, this homestead, and the man and his wife have died of the plague, and they're in bed. And he says, "Seen much death, you and I." Like fucking Yoda shit. But then he continues to say, "Some deserve, some not. But what does one do to deserve a death like that?"
Some deserve, some not. But what does one do to deserve a death like that?
Nothing.
And I'm like, motherfucker, you just slaughtered men and women, or women and children. These people died, like, yeah, they've got boils on their faces and whatnot, but they died peacefully in their beds. What the hell? Death like that because they rotted?
I guess
I don't know. Because like the one woman was kind of like 7, she wasn't fully dead. She waited until someone like spooked her, and then she finally died. Like there's like all these pronouncements never really matched what they were supposed to. Like and also Ron Perlman gave it a performance like he's reading the weather. There's no like real horror or fear or terror or anything. It's
He's seen it all before, man.
I guess.
Seen it all. There's nothing that can shock him.
I guess. I mean, I've seen Ron Perlman in things I really, really like even fantasy genre work. Hellboy. He's an amazing Hellboy, and he's charismatic as hell.
Yeah.
This him and Nick Cage should have had more chemistry, and I guess the director just didn't give a shit. Like I feel like every take was the first one, and they just like, yep, fine, yep, let's just take it, yep. Yeah, you missed that guy with your sword, Nick, but that's cool. We'll fix it in post.
No, I think Perlman is actually better than Cage in this movie by far. He does have kind of that effortless charisma. I know the script is not supporting him very much,
right?
But he flashes a smile and he tells a joke, and I'm like, okay, yeah, Ron Perlman, cool. Nicolas Cage never gets a moment like that at all in this film.
Yeah, I mean, they do give far like they let Nick Cage tell the story about him, Felsen, about this is my favorite part of the movie, where they're sitting around a campfire and he's regaling tales of, because these guys are also like medieval badasses, but they don't really sell that. They sell it with a little bit of Legolas and Gimli. I'll take that 500 over there. You take this 500. Whoever kills the most will buy drinks.
Yeah,
but my favorite part is like there's and Nick Cage is telling the story about Ron Perlman, how they signed up as teenagers for this crusade, and it's essentially like he was asking the preacher, what do I got to sign up for to forgive adultery? And he's like, 3 years. And what about theft? You got to enlist for 2 years to be forgiven that. And he's like, better put me down for 10. That's funny. Mm-hmm. But that's the only funny thing in this whole fucking movie.
For sure.
There's nothing, there's like stuff that's played for laughs. Like, Nick Cage seeing that the land has kind of been deprived of humanity. He's worried about it. It's like, I've not seen a living soul. And Ron Perlman says, you can keep your souls. I'll be happy with a chicken. As they're riding past a herd of cattle. Mm-hmm. Like, you guys are deserters and outlaws. You're above butchering a cow.
They're conservationists too. They don't want to waste the extra meat.
Oh, right. Yeah. I just need...
I could eat a chicken, but a cow's a bit much.
Yeah, a leg and a breast. That's one for you too, right, Bellman? Let's not be greedy.
Yeah.
Nothing hangs together, and also I cannot state how very ugly this film is. This film looks like a fairly well-heeled megachurch has done a historical, because like the cities are obviously cardboard and stucco, and they run them through, they filter the hell and back, so you can see that, like, the sky's not real, the grass isn't real, the buildings, none of the far off buildings are real, they're all shitty composited mats. It's just everything is just done incredibly poorly, from the costuming, the hair and makeup. They must have had just a badass, like you said, makeup guy.
Yeah,
because what they did to Christopher Lee is pretty top-notch plague work. But that's it.
Season of the Cage.